I'll take it from here. We are looking at an all-day event as far as our weather impact alert. We're looking at now the winds. It could cause more problems for us. Of course, we have the flooding out there as well that we have to be on the lookout for. Trees could still fall. Some of those limbs could still blow around as our gusts will be in the 25 to 30 mile per hour range. So that could lead to more power outages. So you need to be weather aware, folks. We're looking at the severe weather well to the east of us. We're drying out. Finally, that heavy rain that we had last night into this morning has now begun to move further off to the north. Now we just have a few isolated sprinkles around. So as you're driving around, you may get a few dots on your windshield. You have to use your windshield wipers intermittently. What we had up here to the north, gone. Down to the south, you still have the clouds in place. A few light showers around the forecast area. Again, drizzle really would be your best bet. That's what we're going to see for the rest of the afternoon. That heavy rain is out of here, folks. We had plenty of it, which is leading to the flooding, and we don't want any more, right? The center of circulation around what's left over from Helene, which is still a tropical storm, is now starting to slide further off to the north over into parts of North Carolina, eventually into Tennessee, and will be drawn into another system that's up there to the north. Now we will get some wraparound from this. So even as we head into the weekend, we're looking at a few scattered showers, certainly possible, nowhere near the rain that we have experienced already. And so that's the good news for us as that area of low pressure continues to slide further off to the north. Here's a better look at it now. Still a tropical storm with winds at 45 miles per hour. It is moving very, very rapidly now to the north at 32 miles per hour. So we'll continue to move and leave out of our area where our conditions will get a little bit better. But because it's going to begin to move back off to the north and west, again, we'll get some wraparound from this. So the clouds will stay in place. We'll get some peaks of sunshine or some slivers of sunshine, if you will, as we head into the weekend, but not as clear as we would like it. You notice the winds right now, sustained winds in the teens for the most part. You got some single digits out here as well. But when we talk about the gust, look at these in the 20 mile per hour range. So 25 to almost 30 miles per hour as well. And these gusty winds will stick around right on through the rest of the afternoon, again, which could lead to some of those weakened trees being blown over, falling on our power lines, and lead to more power outages, unfortunately, folks. So we'll have to be on the lookout for that. Temperature wise, we're in the 60s, close to the 70-degree mark in a lot of spots. In fact, we're already there in Covington, Thomaston, over toward Peachtree City and down toward LaGrange. 73 degrees over toward Duluth, which looks pretty good for now. You got 70 up toward Dalton. Blairsville, you're at 70 degrees as well. I think we'll top off in the low 70s, right around 73 degrees for our forecast high temperature today with that mix of sun and clouds. I think we'll get a little peak of it as we head through the afternoon. That will be it. We'll watch as the flood warnings, flash flood warnings, that's a red area there, will continue to shrink down now that we don't have as much rain out there, and we'll watch those streets begin to recede back into our area creeks and streams. So what will grow is these little light green specks that you see around. Those are our area rivers and streams that have exceeded their banks, okay? And so flooding will continue to take place as the runoff continues to run into the creeks and streams there. So we'll still have those flood warnings, but this flash flood warning is starting to shrink back a bit there, and that will continue to be the case. Now you notice also this dark green shade that's around the area, that is the flood watch. That will stick around until Friday night unless they just begin to pull that because of the rain that we don't have any longer, but we're still looking at the runoff from what we've had already. And so you're talking about in excess of 8 to maybe 10 inches in a lot of spots out there. Here's the forecast track model. It shows where we still have the wind, even though the rain has begun to subside. The rain pushing further off to the north. We'll have the winds up to, let's say gust at least, up to about 20 to 35 miles per hour for the rest of the afternoon. Really won't watch that subside until we get into the evening. That's when it start to go down into the teens as far as the gusts go. And so that will begin to back off, and it'll set us up for a better looking weekend. Let's put it that way. We'll start you off with some sunshine on Saturday morning. We'll say partly sunny skies, but the clouds will eventually overtake the area and more rain will come back to us. So you're looking at some scattered showers, mainly during the afternoon, light for the most part. 20% chance is what we'll give it. We'll do the same on Sunday. Start you off with partly sunny skies, mostly cloudy skies at times once we get to the afternoon. A lot of you may be inside watching some football. A few isolated showers could be around. We'll give it a 20% chance once again. And then we'll finally start to notice those clouds letting up just a little bit as we head into the work week next week, which means we'll get some sunshine back into the forecast area. So 77 degrees for your high temperature on Saturday. Sunday, we're looking at 79. Both days we'll have that 20% chance for some isolated showers to be around. We're going to hit the 80s as we head into next week. Partly sunny skies on Monday, but mostly sunny skies for Tuesday, Wednesday, even as we head into Thursday. And that temperature will remain right near the 80-degree mark, which is good for us, right? Finally getting back to where we should be for this time of year. There are some hints that we could see some rain for the next weekend to come, but we'll talk more about that later. Let's just enjoy the calm weather while we can. But we still could see some power outages this afternoon, which is why we have the weather impact alert for today. Let's go over to Nicole Harford to learn more about those outages.
Yes, we have widespread power outages across the state. Luckily, with crews out there working hard trying to get a lot of those outages repaired, the number has been going down, but there's still over 1 million people across North Georgia, 1 million customers not with power. Obviously, most of the widespread power outages are down closer to South Georgia and Central Georgia. This is a map showing the percentage of people by county who do not have power, and that is taking into account all electricity and power companies across the state. Through Metro Atlanta, most spots we're talking only 5% to 15% of the population without power, but that's still a large number of people through Fulton County and into Clayton, Cobb as well. I want to point out that Rabun County, however, has nearly 80% of the population right now with no power. We can go over to the Georgia Power website, and that'll tell us the number of people without power. This one breaks it down color-wise by the certain number of people. So we look through North Georgia. We can kind of zoom in and take a look at some of our major counties there. For Georgia Power customers, we have nearly 700,000 customers still without power. Again, that's an improvement from what we've been seeing earlier in the day today, but there is still a possibility of additional power outages. So let's break it down by county. In Fulton County right now, we still have nearly 25,000 customers affected. Off into DeKalb County, nearly just over 38,000 customers affected. Clayton County, slightly less, looking a little better there with only 7,600. In McDonough, down towards Henry County, customers impacted 2,700. Off towards Gwinnett County, 4,500 people, and then in Cobb County, 4,700 customers without power. So that's widespread power outages across the state. And while there are crews out there working hard to get a lot of those fixed, we may still see that number fluctuate a lot, both with improvements and also additional power outages as that risk for some downed trees remains. We've also been monitoring the flood threat pretty closely. Widespread flooding is ongoing across a good portion of Metro Atlanta. This is a map of our flood gauges. So here's the perimeter right here around Metro Atlanta. These spots that are highlighted in purple, that's where we have flood gauges that are in either the major flood stage or are forecast to get up into the major flood stage. So one of the ones we've been watching really closely, we've already seen ongoing flooding and those water rescues surrounding Peachtree Creek. Big improvements there already. This crested at just over 23.5 feet. That's the major flood stage that's near record flooding, only rivaled, of course, by the flooding back in 2009. And we'll continue to watch that as the waters recede, but it will take some time. Aisha and Cheryl.
All right, Nicole, thank you. We want to recap some of the governor's press conference because he gave a lot of pertinent information to give us just a snapshot of how intense this situation was overnight into the morning.
First and foremost, he confirms 11 fatalities from Helene. 11 fatalities, including a first responder. We believe that first responder, a firefighter in Blackshear, Georgia, is about 4 hours south and east of Atlanta.
Some areas, Bacon County, saw wind speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, and those flood waters continue to be the main thing that they're looking at. Now, because of the flood waters and the amount of trees that we have down, Valdosta being the hardest hit area in our state, Governor Kemp says we are talking 115 structures. They're literally trying to cut their way through in order to get to rescue people that they know are inside some of those homes.
People trapped inside. He's hoping there are not more fatalities, but he is concerned. He talked about the impact in terms of damage monetarily could be bigger than Hurricane Michael. That was $750 million of damage for the state of Georgia. Right now, they're just in the preliminary stages of assessing, so a very busy day ahead.
As we get ready to wrap up here at noon, we do want to let you know to be on the lookout if you have to move about the city today. Still a lot of trees down, a lot of power lines, and a lot of flooded out roads, so you do want to proceed with caution if you have to go out, but we prefer that you don't.
We will continue to update you on 11alive.com and on the 11 Alive News app. We'll be back here for 11 Alive at 4.
Stay safe, everybody. Thanks for being with us today.